All right, welcome everyone. This is episode 2 of the Bay Area / Grocery League Dynasty podcast interview show. Today is going to be a Bay Area Dynasty League focus. I have CoachZach93, my cousin Zach, here as our guest who we're going to be interviewing. Before we get started, I did say I was going to shout out one of my buddies, Alfredo, his league, probably the only fantasy football league I would join, not dynasty related anymore. It's a redraft league. It's the Driving While Masked Fantasy Football League. I'm sure sources have told me that it's a pretty good redraft league, maybe the best. We are in a couple other fantasy leagues together. Hockey, I'm the 2-time reigning champ, so I'm still waiting to get into the Driving While Masked redraft league. It's the only redraft league I'll join going forward. But I have Zach here with me today. What's up, Zach?
What up? What up?
So yeah, let's just get started and let's get talking football. What got you into football?
We're probably the same. I started playing, elementary school on the yard, and from there, transitioned into high school, watching it, playing it. We were kind of crack addicts for football.
Yeah, I have memories of us playing Madden all the time at your house. Like I used to be the old Chargers. I used to love playing with LT and run the ball.
Yeah, and those baby blue uniforms and 300 yards rushing.
Oh yeah, those uniforms. I'm a Niner fan, but those uniforms are pretty sick.
That's back in the Madden 05 days.
Oh, that was good.
But it didn't look like you're watching TV playing Madden.
Right. So yeah, I had lots of memories of us having lots of Madden battles. You used to love Engage 8 as your defensive strategy.
I still play when I still play online. I still Engage 8. You're gonna get that ball out, you're gonna score. But I'm like Spags out here on Madden,
sending all the blitzes. So, what is your favorite football team?
You know that answer.
I know the answer. So tell it to the rest of the league.
Las Vegas on mine. It's kind of weird to say that though, but yeah, Raiders. College, I don't really have a favorite. I guess USC, Cal, California teams, even though most of them always suck, especially Cal. You're Stanford.
Yeah.
NIL kind of took them out the game.
Oh, for sure. And then the requirements just to get into those schools, they're not getting. I'm surprised they got Marshawn Lynch back in the day.
Yeah, they got Marshawn because it was about 15 minutes from his house, but that's about it. If not, he probably would have been out of there.
Yeah. So you're a Raider fan. Who's your favorite player in the NFL right now?
Right now, probably go with Devontae. I remember him, Fresno State. With Derek, one of my high school teammates. Lecky was the offensive tackle on their teams at Fresno State. So I was watching him a lot back then, and then to see him come play for the Raiders, that kind of solidified that. It'd probably be somebody else if he wasn't a Raider, but he's a Raider, so we got to roll with Devontae until he retires.
So he wasn't your favorite player before he played on the Raiders?
Probably not, but definitely now. I mean, how long has it been since the Raiders had a top 5 wide receiver? Probably not since I was alive.
Maybe Tim Brown?
Yeah, but that was
while.
Late 90s, early 2000s. I mean,
yeah.
I guess I should say since we would remember really actually watching it.
Yeah.
When he was at the end of his career, that's when we were just actually knowing what we were watching.
Yeah.
When the Raiders Rich Gannon 5 picks in the Super Bowl. Garrett Robbins decided he wanted to go to TJ and celebrate before the game.
I remember watching that Super Bowl at your house. I was probably talking shit. Now I'm like, oh shit, I haven't watched the Niners win the Super Bowl yet either. So maybe that's a little karma for talking smack.
Yeah, you can't get back, can't get past Mr. Patrick, huh?
We'll save that for another. We'll save that for a whole nother discussion.
Yeah, I know what you think about the Super Bowl because your name is a run play.
Well, I definitely think we should have ran the ball on both 3rd and 4s treated as a 4-down territory. And
look at overtime when he got back to the run game, right down the field until the penalty.
Yeah, I mean, for another pod, we'll have to talk about that. But who's your favorite past football player? I have a feeling I know where you're going to go with this, but
where do you think I'm gonna go?
beast mode.
Hey, you could go Marshawn, but I'll go even more. I'll go Seawood.
Ooh,
Heisman Trophy winner,
Raider legend,
Super Bowl, even though it wasn't for us. I was actually at practice that whole last week before he retired because Jack was still the coach at the time, so he would bring us in at practice. So that was kind of wild being there. And then the next week he announced his retirement. He actually checked that photo out on my Instagram too. I still got that up.
Yeah, it's kind of, you brought up Jack Del Rio. He has Hayward football ties. You have Hayward football ties because that's where you went to school. And you also coached at Hayward.
Yeah, we killed y'all.
And when we played, when we coached against each other.
We never coached against each other when you were at Arroyo. But I did coach against your brother, and I felt like I was coaching against the Pop Warner team.
No, we coached against each other. We played at East Bay.
That was my first year, though, so I wasn't entrenched yet. The next year is when I started calling plays after that.
Next year, I was out.
And then he left and went to Monroe. Yeah.
But, kind of going off, what do you like about football? What do you enjoy about the sport?
I would say physicality, although that's not as much anymore.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I still go back and watch those old highlights on YouTube of people getting absolutely demolished. But nowadays, everybody would get put under the jail for that.
Yeah, you see something like even going back to the Pro Bowl, like Sean Taylor laying out the puncher.
Yeah, Sean Taylor, Ed Reed, I think did that. Yeah, I mean now they don't even play. That was flag football in the Pro Bowl. Back then they were laying the wood.
Yeah. I wish it was still actual games instead of the flag football. I didn't actually watch it. We had it on TV in the background, but
I forgot it was even Pro Bowl week. Nobody talks about it anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely not the same. I remember they brought back the skills competitions, which was kind of cool because I remember I used to really enjoy watching that, seeing the quarterbacks doing the quarterback challenge and the kickers doing they played horse, but it was kicking competition. But yeah, no, it's definitely not the same as in back in the day, and especially even before our time, in the 80s, they would straight up kill people on the football field.
Yeah, I could see having rules, to try to take away some injuries, but now it's no matter what the defender does, somebody's going to get hurt. You go high, if it's a college, you go high, you're ejected. You go low, they don't have an ACL anymore. You literally can't win. Or now they're trying to take out the hip drop, so I don't know how they're going to tackle. Just wrap up and blow the whistle.
Might as well just start playing flag. It's crazy.
Basically. So it's like the old 7-on-7 days, helmets only.
So what do you like about fantasy football?
Kind of like betting. It keeps me engaged, and it allows a lot of trash talk. And Dynasty is kind of fun because you're doing it 12 months out of the year. I'm at work at 3 a.m. trying to send you trades to somebody I'm never going to get, but why not? I was actually looking on here before we went live, trying to see if I could set up a blockbuster last minute. But
breaking news on the pod.
Yeah, breaking news. Bijan Robinson traded to
yeah.
This is the wrong league, but I was looking at I don't think Penguin has the 1-9 in this I think that was grocery you guys were talking about, right?
Yeah, that was a grocery. This today's more of the Bay Area focus, though you are in both.
Yeah, but
a few people there in both.
He doesn't have a top 3 round pick in Bay Area, but I got Laporta, and I heard what he said.
Yeah,
so I wonder if I could take another draft pick, even though I want Laporta. He's probably a big piece, but why not breaking news? But then I realized it was the wrong league.
Yeah, no. We'll get into your team in just a little bit. What do you like the Dynasty, or do you like the redraft format better?
My favorite part of Dynasty is actually the beginning draft because we're going for a month straight. But probably Dynasty because it's year round. But redraft I like in the aspect that it's a lot different strategy. You're going for that single year, so it's a lot a lot different. I might go for say Aaron Rodgers first round. Well, last year that would suck, but first round in a redraft. But he's going the 15th round in the dynasty, maybe, especially now.
If that, yeah, because of his age, definitely dynasty. The strategy is totally different. I mean, you could make that all-in push for like 1 year, but if you don't win it, now you're like, okay, I have a roster of aging talent that no one wants. They have no value. Well, like, what am I doing here? And it changes the whole dynamic, and it changes the valuation of players a lot.
Yeah, you could either plan to win now and figure it out later, or like you kind of did in I think Bay Area, right? You set up to try to build.
Yeah, for my team in Bay Area, I definitely sat the year out, to say the least, tanking and sold some players for some picks and used that. Now I have the 101 and the 103 in this year's draft. So hopefully
Marvin Harrison and Jaden Daniels, you are now one
sweeps. I think I'm actually pretty good at quarterback though. With Purdy playing pretty well and Kyler Murray playing pretty. Hopefully he'll come back, and it's a one quarterback league. If this were grocery with a super flex,
I can skip ahead a little bit. That's that we need to propose that super flex. I'm gonna skip ahead to that while I think of that.
Okay, well, so would that be the one rule you would implement in Bay Area Dynasty League if you're a commissioner?
Yes. Yeah, I got Richardson, Fields, and Levis on top of a couple others, and I can only play one.
Yeah, you do have I
actually went to see who I could trade out of those, and I realized that being not a super flex, I probably wouldn't get what I want anyway. So there's no point.
Yeah, I think super flex is another totally different game than a one quarterback league that we're in. If we were to ever go into a super flex, it would definitely have to be like 2 years down the line.
Yeah, transition.
Like, time to prepare and to let the market and the valuation of the players really change.
I guess maybe the only other thing for fun of it would be to add a defensive player, but we already have defense anyway.
Yeah, I think the defense special teams is different, and it's from year to it's hard with dynasty because from year to year the defensive change and you don't necessarily know who's going to be good, who's going to not be good.
Especially me looking at the Dolphins defense, I'm pretty sure they have a whole Fangio left, right? So they got a whole new defensive
coordinator in Philadelphia now.
Oh, that's I need to who has that? I didn't trade for them.
But yeah, so let's kind of talk a little bit about your team here.
Coming forward,
you finished in 4th place because in Bay Area we don't have divisions. It is a one-whole league, and it's the top 2 records get the bye, and it's the top 6 records who make the playoffs, except for the 6th seed does go to whoever has the highest points scored out of the bottom 5 teams. So I think that actually came into place this last year where Brad made it to the playoffs, even though my brother Jeremy had a better record than Brad, but Brad had more points scored. So you finished last year 9-5, and you finished on a 6-game winning streak. Talk to us about that.
That was all luck. That was all luck. My team was definitely built for the future. I mean, I got Laporta, Richardson, Fields, and if he ends up in Atlanta, watch out. That offense is going to be scary. Let's see. I got Puka.
Yeah, Puka.
I put all y'all on Puka in like 4 different leagues.
Yeah, I think the only league you don't have Puka in is in grocery because the resident Rams fan took Puka Nacua from you. But you got Puka Nacua in the 5th round of the draft. Like, how good does that feel to hit on a 5th round draft pick like that?
Well, I drafted him because he's out of where's he out of again? A smaller school though, right?
I think he was BYU.
Okay, BYU, but he wasn't nothing. He wasn't hyped or anything. He was on my radar because he's fifth. He's a late round guy out of BYU, drafted into a Sean McVay offense. Does that sound familiar?
That kind of like was the Cooper Kupp model.
Exactly. Do you remember in the Haystack League what I nicknamed him before the season?
Cooper Kupp 2.0, I want to say.
Exactly. And now that's aging pretty well, huh?
Yeah, I mean he is definitely one of your star players, I think, because looking at your roster, so you've kind of mentioned you have Anthony Richardson. I think that's your quarterback that you hope to build around. But you also have Matthew Stafford, Justin Fields, and Will Levis. So you have a young quarterback room.
Yeah, one of them should be legit. I mean, Fields, like I said, if the betting favorite for him is Atlanta right now, and that would be kind of scary. That would help out your boy Bijan in the run game.
It would. I don't have any Bijan stock in this league, unfortunately. Kyle tanked that out last year and got
whoever has that trio, Pitts, London, and Bijan, that would benefit them because they're a quarterback away. Pitts might actually be a fantasy guy again.
Maybe even an offensive coordinator who is willing to get the ball to his top weapons too.
Well, they got Zach Robinson over there, so he's coming with the Sean McVay scheme. The Shanahan tree guy.
Yeah, I saw. I think today Jonnu Smith got cut. So anyone who has Pat Fryermuth, watch out because Arthur Smith just loves to give the ball to Jonnu Smith over his star tight end.
It's a separate topic, but it's trending, at least rumor wise, that Russ is going to end up with him.
Really? And Pittsburgh.
Russ to the Steelers is, I want to say, the betting favorite. Last I looked.
Wow, and we all know. Well, I know you are a betting man. You love to make sports bets.
Although I'm never betting on your team again in my life.
Yeah, I'm gonna blame you now. I'm gonna just say you jinxed us. But I think
I bet on the Rams, I win like $5,000. I bet on the Niners, nothing.
I think in Vegas we were for my bachelor party. We were walking around and we saw they were doing the sign spinning things, and we joked, we're like, "How do we bet on this?"
Bet on anything. I'm the guy betting on Chinese wall ball at 4 a.m.
Didn't you say as soon as you crossed the Nevada state border, you were like,
"Yeah." I have my phone ready and I'm driving like 100 miles an hour to Vegas. And as soon like mind you, it said you are in Nevada and it still wouldn't let me. Like, oh, come on. And I had to go like another 10, 15 miles and I started placing bets on my phone.
Had to wait for that GPS to update and just start.
As soon as it said, you can place a bet was placed.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
And then I placed that parlay right before we left. And I want to say it'd been like $10 for like 1,200 or something, and Tom Brady failed me. And it was a UFC and NFL parlay, and that Monday night game, it was the Cowboys and Bucks in the wild card game. Yeah, that killed it. Everything else hit. Yeah. I'd have been going right back to Vegas to get my money.
That you do a lot of UFC on your parlays. I've noticed when you send me them. Going back to your team, I think the one I would say weak spot on your team is your running back room.
I mean, looking at my starters right here, I'm pretty sure my top two guys are free agents, right?
Well, I know Tony Pollard's a free agent, and it could be a good thing for him. It could be he could land somewhere that his stock goes up. But I think
for Dylan, though, if he gets away from the Packers, he might be the number one guy and actually get more touches. He's inconsistent, but he could be good.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets a new landing spot, he could be a flex-worthy running back for you.
I'll say that I'm kind of relying on Nick Chubb coming back 100%. It looks like because P. Ryan I actually might cut. Foreman is all right, and that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, he's like if you have to start him, like you'll start Donta Foreman, but he's not someone you're gonna look into. Like I'm trying to build him around him. So yeah, I think out of your team, that's the only weak spot I really saw.
I might just have to try to flip one of these quarterbacks for a running back.
Depends on the who needs quarterbacks. That's the one thing. Like looking around the league,
that's why I got super flex. I was looking at that last night. Like, without being super flex, I don't think anybody wants him.
No, but
maybe Paris, because unless he likes Geno Smith going forward.
Yeah, that's true.
Might have to hit him up.
Yeah.
Is it Brad Soley?
Yes, because Dark Helmet is Chad. Chad
he might need a quarterback. I mean, Jake Browning isn't going to play anymore, and all he has is Herbert. Although I know you're a Herbert guy, his stock is up tremendously going into the season.
I think Jim Harbaugh is going to really help out. I was rooting for Michigan because I like Harbaugh going back to his Niner days. And
he's won everywhere he's ever went. Back to your Stanford team.
Yeah, that's. I think he'll help Herbert immensely. I mean, Herbert's talented. Like he's really damn talented.
If he could ever get a year where the whole offense is healthy, they might actually make some noise.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do.
What do you think about Eckler's a free agent too, right?
Eckler is a free agent, so they could. I've heard different things where the Chargers maybe sign a running back. Like, speaking of Pollard, like that could be a good place for Tony Pollard to go. To the Chargers if they don't draft a running back.
What do you think these guys are going to get paid?
It's tough, man, because I think the league in general is going into a more running back by committee approach. You don't have too many bell cow backs anymore, and it feels like the position has just devalued so much where you can get like the Falcons spent a top 10 pick on Bijan Robinson, and the Lions basically did the same with Gibbs. But think about the year before, Breece Hall was a second-round pick.
That Gibbs pick was huge. Everybody was back and forth at the time, but that's a huge piece for them going forward.
The Lions killed this last draft. They have a lot of talent. And then
the Raiders could follow. Thinking of that division with Harbaugh, the Raiders they're gonna have to hit our quarterback, or AOC is gonna have to make a big leap because that division is gonna be wild. You got Harbaugh, you got Sean Payton, and you got Andy Reid. I like AP, but that's rough to be in that circle.
So, being a Raiders fan, who do you want the Raiders to draft? What do you?
I've been saying Drake May is the best quarterback in the draft for like the last year. But
you have every time we talk about it. I'm like,
I don't know if it's really worth what they're going to have to give up, and they're probably going to have to go to number 2 depending on what the Bears do. That's a lot to give up. It'd be similar to the haul that the Niners gave up, and we see how that. I like May, but we see how that played out.
Yeah, if May isn't the guy, then it's like you'd have to.
If they make that trade and move up, and May isn't the guy, I mean that sounds like the Raider way to me.
Who's the last quarterback?
Just cycle another 20 years, I guess.
Jamarcus Russell.
Jaden Daniels could be good though. He could be another Lamar. I mean, I still don't know if I would want Caleb Williams. I mean, looking at all the quarterbacks that Lincoln Riley has made superstars, haven't exactly been the best in the league. I mean, Kyler has been up and down. Mayfield is starting to, he hasn't been bad, but hasn't been great. Hurts, I guess you could count, but he was only there Oklahoma a year. I know one thing. Lincoln Riley builds Heisman Trophy winners, obviously.
Yeah. And I don't see Caleb Williams going anywhere other than 101.
Yeah.
So you'd have to pay a king's ransom to move up to 101, I think. They were talking. I saw something where they said the Bears would get the 102 from Washington, a second-round pick, and then another first-round pick just to move up one spot. And I was like, man, that's a lot just to move up one single spot. But let's kind of circle back. How do you view your team? We've already kind of discussed that you're a young team, but
I got some pieces. I definitely need to figure out running back. But I mean, like you said, quarterback is solid. I got Puka, I got Laporta, I got Devontae, which is going to be good at least a couple, 2-3 more years most likely. Olave, I think Olave could have a rebound year with their offensive coordinator came from you guys. He's another Shanahan guy, and his dad is legit. Clint Kubiak's over there now. Waller, I don't know. Dude can never stay healthy. Chubb, do you think Chubb comes back or what? Well, I mean, 100%.
I think he'll be solid. I don't know if he'll ever be exactly like Nick Chubb again, but it's
hard to say.
Modern medicine now. Yeah, modern medicine really changed the game. There's still a lot of players who come back from ACLs.
Gotta get on that phone with Aaron and see what he's doing. I got some pieces. I mean, I'm gonna have to figure out probably receiver. Outside of Puka and Olave, either they're old or they suck. Like Sky Moore, never ended up being anything so far. I got to figure out if I can even get anything for Sam Howell or if I just cut him because they're obviously going quarterback.
Yeah, I saw something that said that Sam Howell might get traded too, and that could boost his stock back up. Likely,
I've been a Likely guy since I've been on Likely kind of like I was on Nakua, as you know, with Mark out, he was pretty good. I think they need to stay a lot more 12 personnel. He could be good. I don't know if I could rely on him yet, but he's still young, so I could keep him in the long term.
Yeah, and then Mark Andrews is still getting up there in age, and if the Ravens want to tear down or don't want to pay him anymore, likely played pretty damn well.
He's still only 23.
He's young. A lot of youth. You do have a lot of youth. You have a lot of pieces still. So who's your one cornerstone player? Is it Puka? That's who you want to. That's your guy.
I could go either way with this. I can go Puka or I could go Laporta. That Lions offense ain't going nowhere unless they start getting injured. That offense is deep, and he's a big piece of that. I mean, when's the last time you could say this? A rookie tight end is tight end one.
Yeah,
that doesn't usually happen.
No, with tight end usually they're like, oh, year 3 is the breakout year, but
at the same time, I mean, how often do you see a rookie late round guy go even though it's just fantasy, go number 4 with almost over 1,500 all-purpose yards for Puka?
He broke the rookie record for receiving yards. Like, I think both of those are two great building blocks for your team. It always feels nice when you have a young talent like that. That's just makes you feel good about your team. Or it's like, okay, well, no matter what, at least I have them.
Olave missed some time and had a down year, and he still finished 16. So if he can stay healthy and that offense gets back, he could easily be top 10 too. Yeah. I wasn't really a fan of their scheme anyway with Carmichael. I kind of thought he couldn't ride out Sean Payton forever. He was the OC, but Sean Payton was really the guy there, obviously, for all those years until the last 2 or 3.
Yeah,
it kind of showed. So Kubiak, fresh blood. That offense could be good. If Michael Thomas is even half good, and Kamara doesn't punch anybody in Vegas anymore.
Well, I think what I read, it's a kind of thing that I've kind of followed. Like, go with talent over situation. Olave is talented. Olave is a baller. You can
think he has both, though. I think he has the talent and the situation should be a lot better. And, yeah. I mean, unless Kubiak's like the first Shanahan tree guy to fail.
That's no one's really found a way to totally shut down the scheme for good. It's a good scheme, good plays.
I know a lot of Niner fans want to hate on Shanahan because he doesn't win the big game, but they didn't realize A, how hard that is to win all the way, and B, like the whole league is trending off him. That means he's pretty good to me.
I mean, like, how many head coaches are disciples of him? Like,
I think we can put that the narrative. One of the narratives with that the last couple of years too is that it was the defensive coordinator was why they were winning. I think we can put that to rest now because they've been winning over 3 or 4 coordinators that he gets rid of, or they move on to head coaching jobs.
Yeah, it went from Robert Saleh to D'Amico to Wilkes, and now whoever they're gonna hire, we don't know yet. So who's your favorite player on your team, fantasy wise? Because you have Devontae, and you said he's your favorite player right now. But if you couldn't pick Devontae, who would be your favorite player on your team?
I'll go Puka.
Puka.
I like that offense. That's why I bet so much money when they went to the Super Bowl. I mean, he wasn't there, but the scheme was just still McVay guy. Yeah, I'll go Puka. And how many people really saw that coming going into last year?
Yeah, no.
I didn't think he'd be that good, but I knew he would be good given the scheme and if Cup was opposite him. But I didn't 1,500 yards is kind of wild for a rookie, even in that scheme and that situation, because Stafford missed time, didn't he? And he still put up numbers.
Yeah, I think I know he definitely wasn't like top 5 wide receiver taken. There's probably 5 wide receivers taken before him in our rookie draft.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So if anyone saw it coming, they should have drafted him.
Oh, he would have. What do you think if we redo that? What do you think he goes like 1-1-1-1-2?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean,
above all the quarterbacks and all.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. I'm gonna pull up the rookie draft here.
Laporta too. I don't remember where he went, but I don't think it was top 4.
So let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 wide receivers were taken before Puka Nacua in our rookie draft.
That's what, 50 picks total? In the rookie draft. So where did I take? How many picks were left when I got him?
You got him at 5.6.
That's what. Yeah, that's a lot.
He was the last wide receiver taken in a rookie draft.
Who was taken before him at receiver?
The wide receiver taken before him was Paris Campbell for the New York Giants.
Who took him?
Penguin. Jason did.
Jason probably hates life now, as far as that goes.
I mean, there was still a lot of talent in that draft, but yeah, no, I think Puka probably goes before JSN, probably goes before Jordan Addison, probably before Zay.
Addison could be just as good, but it's going to depend what they do at quarterback. I think Kirk comes back. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
they were before he got hurt. They were balling. They were going to be a contender.
He was playing his best football, and I definitely can see them bringing him back and drafting like a JJ McCarthy and letting him sit behind McCarthy for behind Kirk Cousins for a year. But yeah, so all right, let's kind of get into couple more topics before we get into our 2 questions to wrap it up. Last episode, in episode 1, Jason kind of, stirred a little bit of controversy up when he said he would take Amon-Ra St. Brown over any other wide receiver in Dynasty football right now. So it kind of made me wonder, like, okay, let's talk. Who's your top 5 Dynasty wide receivers?
So I got like a top 6.
Okay.
Let's put together. And I didn't put – you said Dynasty, so I didn't put guys like Tay. I left Tyreek off this, even though, they would probably be in it, top 5 receivers overall. If we're talking Dynasty long-term, I would a little biased here, like we just said, but I would take Puka, then I'd go Jettas, then Amon-Ra number 3, Garrett Wilson, CeeDee Lamb, and pending a quarterback, Drake London.
All right. I kind of have I kind of wrote my top 5.
I left Chase out, but that's because like health and that team, like I don't trust it. That probably would have been a Super Bowl team last year, but they just can't stay healthy. Quarterback, everybody.
Yeah,
he would be in there too.
That's an interesting take because, like, for me, Justin Jefferson is my number 1. I do have a little bit of bias because I have him in grocery. But he's just a really good route runner, and I think the injury, I think the stock down on him for a lot of people, but his first 3 years were insane. So I think I'd have Jefferson 1. I have Chase at 2, partially because he has Burrow. He has a quarterback that he's going to be tied to for a while. So he has that quarterback security to have for the long term. I had CeeDee Lamb at 3. He's another young, talented wide receiver.
Here we go.
Yeah, with Dak. And I know Slocum is a Cowboys fan in our league, so he would probably put Lamb up there higher. But I have Lamb at 3, and then I would probably say you can argue Puka, you can argue Amon-Ra St. Brown for 4 or 5. Then you can maybe go into like you said, Garrett Wilson. I think he'll have a rebound year, especially if they can get anyone competent to play quarterback. Like literally, the corpse of Zach Wilson out there was just horrible for him.
I was actually just going to say, if you told me we're going to get a healthy Aaron Rodgers for like 2 straight years, I might put him number 1.
Yeah,
but you just don't know.
Those Ohio State wide receivers, man, they're just pumping them out right now.
Yeah, the thing with Amon-Ra too is he's had 2 straight top 10 years now, fantasy, 1,100 and 1,500 yards. Like if he did 1,500 again, I could see putting him number 1. The talent is there, especially at that offense and that the weapons they got. I just got to see it again because he's only had 2. In 3 years he had 2,000-yard seasons.
So, and then especially if Ben Johnson leaves next year, if he goes to become a head coach, like, is that going to change things with having a different offensive coordinator? That could change it, but he's definitely in the top 5. He's not my number 1.
And I never want to hear you ever again, if we ever have any more Madden leagues, tell me I can't go for it on 4th down. That is dead.
This is old. This is way old. This was back when the league didn't do that kind of thing.
Hey, I was ahead of my time.
You were ahead of the curve, exactly. All right. So this is your random league related question. Who do you think is going to win it all this year in Bay Area? What team? If you had to pick, who would be the favorite to win it all? Myself. Can't say yourself. Yeah, we'll just make it interesting because everyone's going to think that we're all competitive people, so we're all going to say ourselves because we all,
With a healthy roster, nobody getting hurt, and if AJ stays in Philly, Sloke is going to be hard to beat. I mean, he's got Dak and Lamar, Aaron Rodgers if he's healthy. He's got Kyron Williams, who came on pretty hot. CMC, your boy. Haskins, if Henry leaves, him or Spears could take on a bigger role.
Yeah.
He's got Calvin Ridley, Amon-Ra, AJ. I don't know why he has Brian Edwards, but he has him. He probably has to get another wide receiver, but Mayer should be good in year 2. He has Fant and Kittle, Bills defense, and Bucker. That could be a dangerous team. And he still has his picks.
He does have a very top-heavy team. I think he's one of the teams in our league that's a little bit on the older side.
Yeah, so he's like a win now guy.
His window is open right now, but in a
I'm
year,
like Brentwood in our haystack league, where if he's got to win, it's got to be in the next year, maybe 2.
Yeah, he does have a loaded team. Well, it'll be interesting to see how he gets younger if he doesn't win it all.
Who won this league last year?
Jason did, surprisingly. Came out of nowhere to win it.
I could see him repeating. Well, Madison, I don't know what happened last year, but ETN solid. Breece Hall, good. Gibbs, good. He's good at quarterback. Well, depending. See, I don't know. The thing is, all 3 of his quarterbacks could move on at any time. Mayfield still has free agent. Russ is probably going to move, and Tua, who knows?
Yeah.
But he's got the Houston guy, too. We didn't talk about them in the top 5, surprisingly, but they could arguably be with C.J. Stroud, like Collins and Dell. But he has Collins, Rice. I could see him. I don't know how this team won, but he's got Waddle, too. Like on paper, this probably isn't the better team of the two I just said, but Baker Mayfield also had a wild year that nobody saw coming.
Sometimes in fantasy, you don't have to have the best team on paper.
I will say that that's gonna suck for him that he has no 1, 2, or 3 pick this year.
Yeah, it ended up paying off for him. Yeah. He made some moves. I think I traded him Mike Williams before. Mike Williams tore his ACL. I think I got a 2nd-round pick for him.
Hey, he can have my 1st-round pick for Gibbs.
I think he would probably want more for that than Gibbs. But all right, so now let's finish it up. Let's wrap this up with your non-football related question. I've been kind of thinking about this one too. So who is one person or band you want to go see in concert?
I don't really go to concerts. Concert. All right, we gotta like go back in time. I'll go to like a Tupac and Biggie concert back in the 90s.
So you're gonna find a time machine and go back.
We're going back.
All right, and then what's the last song you played on your phone?
You know me, it's E40.
E40.
I guess if I had to go to a live, it'd be like E40 and Too Short. You know, Bay Area. Nice. Like the league is Bay Area.
Nice, yeah. I think the last concert I went to, we went and saw Queen in concert. They were pretty.
You guys are going to one this summer too, right?
We're going to go see Luke Combs in July or June at SoFi. I'm really looking for that. Luke Combs is my favorite artist right now. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him. We missed seeing him in concert in San Jose back in the day, and Morgan Wallen opened for him, which is kind of crazy because Morgan Wallen's pretty big now too.
You guys are making a whole weekend out of it too, right?
Yeah, we have the 2-day passes, so we're going to the concert Friday night and Saturday.
So I got one question for you. What are these running backs going to get?
What are these running backs going to get?
I'm saying 9 to 11 a year.
9 to 11 a year? Yeah, I can see that. I can see
them getting what they would, the franchise tag last year, number, but not this year.
It's tough. I think Barkley is going to get the highest contract out of everyone.
I think Jacobs gets that, whether it's the Raiders or not, but it's close.
I think it's tough. I think these running backs are going to want a little bit more long-term contracts. I think out of the free agent class, I could see like 3 years being the longest contract.
Yeah, 2 to 3. If you get like the 11, 12 a year, you're getting 2 years.
Yeah, I think 2 years probably is the most you're going to see because a lot of teams just think like, okay, we could just draft a new guy and pay them.
Yeah, but everyone that says that, how many of them are? Outside of the Chiefs, that doesn't really count. How many of them are actually winning? Look at the Niners. Like they lost, but that wasn't the running back's fault. He had 160 yards.
Yeah. And you can't really say the Chiefs are winning because of Isaiah Pacheco.
If we're being honest, they're not even winning because of Mahomes. But I digress. They're winning this year. They're winning because of that defense.
Yeah, it's this draft class isn't really a strong running back draft class from what I've read about. I think next year's draft.
You got a couple guys, but if you don't get like the 1, 2, or 3 guy, then yeah,
it's not a deep class from what I've heard too. I was listening to Haberman and Middlecoff, and they were talking about how like the 6th, 7th round, there's not a lot of talent compared to last year because there's a lot less underclassmen declaring for the draft compared to other years. That NIL money, man.
Yeah, you can make that money in college. You're pulling up to the practice in a Hellcat or a Lambo. Living the college life,
making more money than some of the pros. But all right, I think that kind of wraps up this podcast interview. I'll be posting this one up for Bay Area. Now there's one for each. Hopefully y'all enjoy this and looking forward to see who we're going to interview next. I will interview Zach again. It'd be more grocery team focused. Probably for the first half, we'll just keep talking ball or something before we get his team. But
I'm shooting my shot right now. I just submitted the trade to Jason.
Jason, it was funny because Jason said he's like, I've never met your cousin, but I feel like I know him because we're always sending trades back and forth and texting back and forth.
Yeah, we just made that haystack trade. I want to say that where I got the 3rd pick.
Yeah, he's another one. We have a 3rd dynasty league that Zach found the people for. I helped them set it up, but that one's an interesting league as well.
I mean, we got room for one more.
A 4th one, shit. I would like to just do the draft. Like it's something to do in the summer.
It makes like all of, depending on when we start it, go by. You're literally like the whole month. I'm literally just like a GM.
Just like wheeling and dealing. But,
yeah, I mean, redraft is fun, but I like where you can trade the picks and you got 12 hours to pick and you can really like make a move. We're like trading 32nd round picks, like it matters.
Yeah, there was a lot of trades in that haystack draft, but I think Jason said it at work to me. He's like, I just want to draft. Like, let's just do a draft every year just for the hell of it, just to mess around. But keeping up with. I guess
the only other thing I would say, and this is I didn't even know this was possible when I had this in another dynasty league I was in, is you could wear the taxi squad. You could move people on and off throughout the season.
Ooh, yeah, I think it's an interesting concept. I kind of like it like the practice squad, but
well, that's what I mean. Like with the actual practice squad, you can get elevated and put down throughout the year. That might be an interesting thing to look at.
Yeah, we could definitely think of something like that. I've also liked the idea of poaching from taxi squads. If someone keeps a player on taxi squad and you could try and poach them, we'd have to figure out the right compensation and stuff and really draw out the guidelines.
Yeah, that would probably take till next year to really get right, but it's good. It's something to look at.
Yeah, I'm always interested in whatever.
We got what's today's date? It's the 28th.
Yes.
Man, we still got like 2-3 months.
I know. I'm hoping. Hopefully we have a lot of these interviews done before the draft, and this will kind of help fill the void of not having too much football going on.
Okay, so I'll ask you one more question before we get off here. So you got the 1-1 and 1-3. Who do you think's going 1-2? I'm not going to ask you your picks, even though I probably already know at least one of them. Obviously,
101. I could tell everyone. It doesn't matter. It's Marvin Harrison Jr.
Which is exactly what the Bears should do. But
he was a B-21 sweep. I tanked specifically for him, and I had to out-tank Kyle.
At least you know what I'm going to go do before I do the interview for grocery? I'm going to go change my name to Tank Failure.
Because you didn't have your own first pick when you tanked. But, yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. is a B-21 sweep. Lock it in. It's happening unless he has a devastating knee injury or something before we draft. It'll be interesting. I think Kyle probably goes with either Malik Neighbors or Rome Odunze. That seems to be the consensus 102, 103.
If I'm Kyle, I think I go Brock, but I don't think he would. I think that is also kind of high for that.
That is a more luxury pick. He could do that. I don't know. I haven't really spoken to him about it. But with me at 103, I'll probably end up taking whoever he doesn't take.
I mean, he has a lot of height, but he could very well be Laporta, and he's a Napa kid, so you got to go with the NorCal guy, right?
Yeah,
you got to go with him.
Tight end with McBride, and hopefully Hawkinson will come back strong. But so if Kyle does go with Brock Bowers at 2. That makes my decision a lot harder. I'll have to pick between Neighbors or Odunze.
Like strategically, he probably goes quarterback because can you really trust Bryce Young right now?
That is true too. That is very true. And I even with it being a one quarterback league, I think someone taking Caleb Williams in the first round.
If they can just get him under center and move the pocket and get him on an actual drop, I think he'd be good. But he's a midget, so you got to. They didn't help him out there.
No. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I gotta do my research to decide who I would want between Neighbors and a Doomsday in case Cal does something little outside the norm. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks for coming on and being a part of this, and looking forward to having our talk more grocery specific. But all right, we'll be wrapping this up, and talk to you guys later.
Maybe before we get on here, I'll hear back from Penguin, and maybe I'll have Gibbs.
Some breaking news. You're just gonna be trying to break news on the next episode.
Well, I'm gonna trade like 6 players for CJ Stroud or something.
I tried for Stroud. My brother was not trying to trade him, but
I gave you I listened to Jason's. I know what you're talking about for the Godfather hole. I know.
Yeah. A couple Godfather offers where I'm like, well, shit, I can't say no to this. But
Joe Burrow, Garrett Wilson for CJ Stroud. Sheesh. Yeah. I don't know how that'll age, but we'll see. But sounds good.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Talk to you later.